What's going on, guys? JSGC here, back again with another Manchester City live watch-along, where today we're going to be doing the live watch-along of Man City's away game in the Arctic Circle in Norway, where we're going to be taking on Bodo Glimt. Sub-zero temperatures, artificial pitch, very challenging game this for Manchester City, no doubt about it. But we know that with a win today, 3 points, we're in a very strong position going forward into the Champions League and potentially securing a last 16 automatic spot, because the last thing we want is playing a couple more games in February when we don't need to do so. We want to be back in the last 16. We want things to be going smoothly in the Champions League. We want to be in a position where we're playing less games, that we're in an advantage of playing away first and at home for the second leg in the last 16 as well. We want these advantages, and to do so, you've got to turn up and you've got to be able to, keep clean sheets, score goals, and ultimately win games. So, before I do crack on with this live watch-along of this game between Bodo Glimt and Manchester City, do make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, then do subscribe to my channel. It is free to subscribe now, less than 800 subs away from my goal of 49,000 subscribers, so any help towards that would be much appreciated. Don't forget as well to get your thoughts in the comments below if you're watching this after the stream. If you're tuning in live, then welcome. Anthony, thanks for tuning in, much appreciated. Agree with that. We're needing a reaction after that real poor performance from Saturday. That for me is the lowest of lows that we can go this season, being outplayed against Manchester United in the Manchester derby at Old Trafford, where United could have scored 5, 6, even 7 goals. They ended up beating us by 2-0. We struggled to create anything. We didn't make anything happen. It was just a subpar performance from Manchester City. We need a response here, and that's the advantage you have to playing every 3 to 4 days. You don't have any time really to reflect on bad results. You just need to dust yourselves down and go again, and that's what we've got to do here with the challenging game in Norway. Don't underestimate just how difficult it's going to be playing on that artificial pitch. It's different footwear, so different boots, different studs, different materials. You're more prone on artificial pitches to be picking up injuries, so that's going to be a factor in today's game. Bodo Glimt, of course, going to be more experienced playing on this pitch and playing in these conditions. So they're going to look to try and make that home advantage count here against City. We, just like every other game that we play in the season, need to treat this like we treat it with any other game, which is we need to turn up, make this game about quality, and show our quality in the final third of the pitch. If we can keep a clean sheet today, then fantastic. If we can score a couple of goals today or more, then that would be absolutely brilliant as well. All we've got to do here is find any which way to win. A win today puts us in a real strong position. I'm not too sure mathematically it will put Man City in a position where after tomorrow that Man City will be in the last 16, but a win today, and I'd say that City have got 1 foot into the last 16 without having to play in them pesky playoff games. Also, don't forget as well to subscribe to my channel. It is free to subscribe. Social media links there in the description as well, guys, if you want to go and follow me on my X, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships or any videos or any general business inquiries. And also don't forget as well to leave a thumbs up. We're aiming for 100 likes more. We're a quarter of the way there, which is fantastic. 75 likes to go. Any help towards that would be much appreciated. Anthony, warm welcome to your wife Rosie as well. Thank you for tuning in, much appreciated with the support. Julia, welcome, thank you for tuning in. Says, what sort of performance am I expecting today? I'm expecting an aggressive response from Man City. I'm expecting City to be nice and positive. Bodo like to play football. We like to play football. So what we're going to see here is two teams not really scared to go toe for toe to try and score goals. Could be potentially quite a challenging game, in particular if Bodo do manage to get any kind of foothold into the game. They take the lead, and they're finding ways to find gaps in Manchester City's side, and they can expose them gaps and find ways to create opportunities. Then they can cause us a lot of problems today. So we've got to try and, like we do with every game, win them individual duels, making sure that we're being nice and physical, we're challenging for the ball, we're showing our willingness to try and win this game, and we're finding ways that when we are creating, that if it is to be one or two opportunities that we get in front of goal, then we're putting them one or two opportunities away, and we're finding any which way to win this match. So that's what I think. As you say, Julie, it can't be any worse than the last fiasco against Manchester United. As I said, that's pretty much the bottom that it gets, I hope, for Man City this season. Everell, thank you for tuning in. Blessings to you, much appreciated. Doesn't like our lineup. Says doesn't like the bench, doesn't look good. I've not actually. I've seen some things about the lineup. I've not actually looked at the lineup just yet. So you're going to get my live reactions to the lineup for today's game, and then I'll be able to give you a better indication about what I think is going to happen in this game, and ultimately use that to give my accurate score prediction. Corey going with a 3-0 victory for Man City. I like that. And Everall going nice and positive with a 2-0 victory today for Manchester City. I'll take that every day of the week. So then, guys, let's have a look at these teams, because I've not had a chance to look at what the sides are looking at. So we'll start first with our opponents, Bodo Glimt. Difficult doing research on them because their season came to an end at the end of November. They did play a Champions League game against Dortmund away at the beginning of December, which they drew 2-2, which is a fantastic result for... No, thanks. Click that off. I've got a pop-up then. Which was a fantastic result for Bodo. It's, played 6 games for them, lost 3, drawn 3, but pick of the bunch, really, for them. Scoring a couple of goals in Germany, drawing that game 2-2. Bodo, very happy with that kind of result. And, Bodo in the league table, sitting on 3 points, more than likely going to need 2 wins to make the playoffs. This is a big deal, a big game for them. Bodo know that with a win today, they stand a chance of maybe going to the playoffs to try and get to the last 16, as well as picking up a huge scalp against former Champions League winners Manchester City, and it will be one of the most impressive wins that Bodo have ever had. So that's what we're up against. It is a huge game and a huge deal for them. They've got a big game against Atletico Madrid as well to end their Champions League campaign. So it's going to be difficult for them to pick up a couple of wins. But this is what you qualify for the Champions League for. You want to be playing the biggest and best teams in Europe and getting them experiences and seeing if you can pick up some big scalps. A draw for Bodo away in Germany at the Signal Iduna Park against Borussia Dortmund. 2-2, scored a couple of goals as well. So cracking results. So Man City, got to be careful. Not sure if it helps Bodo. They're going to be nice and refreshed, of course, because they've not played in over a month. But in terms of them looking maybe a bit, disorientated, a bit disjointed, it is difficult. They played a couple of friendlies, but friendly games aren't the same as competitive games. And, they might have won them 2 friendly games, 4-0 and 4-1 against, I can't remember who they placed. It was Groningen as one of them in the Netherlands that they won 4-0. But it is difficult to be able to make judgments on non-competitive games. End of the day, it's friendlies are friendlies. We know that when we play friendlies in the summer, it means nothing. What matters is that first game of the season that's competitive. If it's a Premier League game, a Community Shield game, these are the things that are of real importance. And Bodo will be saying the same thing really for their match here. Them 2 games that they've won in January for their friendly games, they don't mean anything. And they know that. They know what means something is what they do today. So, looking at Bodo's team, it's a 4-3-3 formation. It's Kaikin starting in goal. It's Schivold starting at right back. Bjorken starting at left back with Bjortuft and Gunderson starting as their 2 centre-backs. Into midfield, you've got Berg, Evergen and Jet. You've got Blomberg on one side, Hage on the other, and Hoff starting as their striker. On the bench today for Bodo, you have got Lund, Nielsen, Alisemi. I was expecting him to start. He doesn't start in today's game. Auckland, Saltnes, Helmerson, Kleinge, Riesnes, Matata, and Xiong as well. I don't know too much about Bodo's side. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm some kind of Bodo Glimt expert. I am not a Bodo Glimt expert. I always say when we're facing teams that I'm unfamiliar with, over the course of the next 90 minutes, I will find out that information against them. Taken a point off Tottenham already this season. cause some problems, I think, in the Europa League that they were playing in last season. And they can cause Man City a problem here today if we don't turn up and put in a high-quality performance. So that is what we've got to be targeting towards to try and do today. Tito Welcome going with a 4-0 victory today for Manchester City, hoping Haaland on his return to Norway going to be back on the score sheet. I hope so. Geffin nice and positive, going 3-0 Manchester City, looking for Phil Foden, Erling Haaland and Rayan Cherki to really step up, and everyone says hoping Phil will step up as well, and I'm hoping that Phil Foden will step up for Manchester City today as well. So having a look then at Manchester City's side, it's a 4-3-3 formation. One big call I can already see just having a look at City's side. So it's Gianluigi Donnarumma starting in goal for Man City. Rico Lewis starts on the right and Rayan Ait-Nouri starts on the left. Not surprised by them called. Matheus Nunes still suffering from flu. Man City are hoping to have him back for our game against Wolves at the weekend. So Rico Lewis, I felt, was always going to get given the nod. It's good that we've managed to register Max Alain so he can start alongside Abdukodir Khusanov. And a rare start for Rayan Ait-Nouri, who, I'm going to add, he's going to get plenty of minutes over the next few weeks with Man City having this defensive injury crisis. Ait-Nouri, if he wants a future at Man City, I know he's only been here for a few months, but if he wants a future, he needs to grab them opportunities with both hands. Into midfield for City today. Surprised we've gone with back-to-back starts for Rodri, but Rodri does start. Alongside him, Nico O'Reilly and Tijjani Reijnders. The big call there for me is I thought that we might have just rotated a little bit in midfield and maybe found a way for either one of Makasa or Foden to go into midfield. So I would have thought it would have been a rest for Rodri, and I'd have gone with either Foden or Makasa as the player that's going to sit behind striker Erling Haaland. City haven't done so. It's going to be Tijjani Reijnders, I suspect, that's going to sit behind striker Erling Haaland, and Rodri and Nico O'Reilly are going to occupy as Man City's two central defensive midfielders. Phil Foden on the right-hand side, Rayan Cherki on the left, and Erling Haaland starting up top for City. Could be the other way around. It could be Cherki on the right and Phil Foden on the left. It could be a case where I've seen Tijjani Reijnders play out wide before. He could go out wide on the right, and one of Phil Foden or Rayan Cherki plays behind striker Erling Haaland, and one of Phil Foden and Rayan Cherki play on the left-hand side. So we'll see how that will work. I'm looking at the teams here today. It would have been a big benefit if we did have Matheus Nunes available, because I would have suggested that maybe Man City were going with a back three, and Rayan Ait-Nouri were going to be the player that's going to basically hog the touchline on the left-hand side, and he's going to occupy more as a winger today rather than a left winger. But here we are. On the bench for City today, James Trafford, Nathan Ake, the return of Omar Marmoush from the African Cup of Nations, Jeremy Doku, Marcus Bettinelli, Charlie Gray, Stephen Nfunni, and Divin Makasa. Not too much depth there on the bench, but we do have some good high-quality options. Doku and Marmoush, I suspect, will get some minutes in the latter parts of today's game, as might Makasa. Nathan Ake, a good option at the back for Manchester City today. Not too much experience into midfield, so we'll see what we do go with. But I suspect that City will want to utilise their substitution, so I can see City making at least 3 subs today. Probably looking more towards 4 or 5, as we want to try and make sure our players are well rested. And as I said before, you want to, on this artificial pitch, make sure you're limiting, your risk of injury, and going with back-to-back starts for Rodri. Yeah, I don't really see what City could have gone different with, to be honest. I feel like the only change for me would have been Doku in, Rodri out. Doku goes out wide. Phil Foden goes out wide, and you have Rayan Cherki play behind the striker, and Tijjani Reijnders and Nico O'Reilly play as City's central defensive midfielders. That would have been my only change, to be honest. I don't think I'd have changed much else. It was always going to be a weakened side for Man City, but it's weak because we've got so many players either out injured, suspended, or not registered. So here we are. Some rest for Marc Guehi and Antoine Semenyo, who aren't registered and can't be registered till the last 16 of the Champions League. So here we are. Dave, thanks for tuning in. There isn't any excuses. That team's strong enough to win this game, as far as I'm concerned. So we need them to turn up and do the business today, hopefully, for Manchester City. So, guys, don't forget, leave a thumbs up on today's stream. That would be much appreciated. Aiming for 100 likes. Any help towards that would be great. 74 likes to go. Also, don't forget as well to get your thoughts in the live chat, including where you're tuning in from today and your score prediction. Do get your voting on the poll as well as to who you think is going to win today's game. 13% going with a Bodo win, 87% going with a Man City win. No draws, which is interesting. There always seems to be somebody who goes with a draw. Also, don't forget as well, guys, subscribe if you're new around here. It is free to subscribe, and do go check out my social media links, which you can find in the description. That would be much appreciated. Welcome, thanks for tuning in. Said he's going to watch the City game with a McDonald's. He's ordered 20 nuggets, share box, large chips, chicken burger, and a large Oreo McFlurry. Why not? That's a banger of a tea, that, as far as I'm concerned. Kushik, Marmouche, I think Egypt finished 4th, didn't they? So, yeah, afraid no bronze medal for Omar Marmouche. VPZ, thank you for tuning in. I'm going to go 2-0 Man City for my score prediction today. I was going to go 3-1. I fancy us to score some goals, and I can see Bodo making something happen. But I don't think it's going to be a very pretty game. I actually think it's going to be 0-0 at half-time, and it's going to be a couple of second-half goals for Man City. One in the early part of the second half, and then City scoring later towards the end of the game and winning this game by 2 goals to 0. Not a very pretty game, but anything as long as it gets the job done as far as I am concerned. Right, we seem to be early wrapping up today, which is unlike me. I normally manage to sit here and waffle for a full half an hour before we end up having kickoff for today's game. VPZ going 3-1, why not? So there we go. Nice. Yeah, Man City in a good, strong position at the moment in the Champions League. Just need to turn up, hopefully play a good game and win this match and move on from it. It's always going to be a bit of a banana skin, this one. I did say when the draw first came out that I was hoping this game would be September, October time. Weather's a bit nicer. Conditions aren't as harsh as what they're going to be in January, but here we are, City playing in the Arctic Circle. If it's a clear night in Bodo, then yeah, could be an Aurora Borealis. The Northern Lights could be on show. That's how far north Man City are today. Officially an away day in the Arctic. I think capacity of the stadium today, 8,000. Man City got given a very small allocation. I want to say it was around 400 tickets for the lucky few that have managed to get hold of tickets for this game, being like gold dust. They're very much an in-demand away game due to the small allocation offered by Bodo Glimt, but a special occasion, I'm sure. I'm sure that from the photos that I've seen of the people that are out there at Bodo Glimt, I'm sure having a very good time. Let's have a look what the weather's looking like. Fairly sure it says it's like -1, -2. Could have been much worse. Yeah, -2 at the minute. 11 mile an hour winds. It could have been much, much worse playing in the Arctic Circle. I'm looking at the weather forecast over the next few days. It does start to get a bit nippier towards next week. Looking at snow forecast, -8, -9 degrees Celsius. Not easy conditions to play in, to be honest. Not easy conditions. -2, clear skies. Might be a Northern Lights show there. We'll see. We'll see. I do think Haaland needs a rest, and I think he will get a rest against Wolves. I feel like Haaland's returning to Norway. He was always going to get minutes. He was always, for me, always going to start this match. Why I put him on the thumbnail. But I think the rotation will come against Wolves and Galatasaray, where hopefully Man City will already be through by then, but we'll see. That's a good question, Anthony, actually. Can I see us realistically challenging Arsenal for the title? The thing is, it depends what points tally that we're looking at. I keep saying, and I'm going to maintain what I'm saying. Eventually, Arsenal will find their feet again, and it'll be 2-3 wins in a row, and that will extend then to, something crazy like 9 wins out of 10 or something. So I think points being dropped eventually for Arsenal will become few and far between, and I still think we're looking at somewhere between 86 and 91 points. Arsenal, I think, can get to 98, 99 points. So I think that's the level that we're looking at here for City. So margin for error isn't really there. I'm hoping that we can win against Wolves. Wolves seem very rejuvenated, finding a bit of form. So we need to sort that out first and foremost at the weekend and take it a game at a time. Some tricky fixtures coming up for us, to be honest, in the Premier League. So it might still get worse before it gets better for City, including tricky games to places that we don't normally do that well at. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium against Spurs. Anfield against Liverpool. Not easy games. So we will see. We'll see. Do I think we can challenge Arsenal? Yes. I think we've got a better idea probably. I'm hoping City will get to the last 16 of the Champions League. Because if we can get to the last 16 of the Champions League, by the time that comes about, we're then in a stronger position to know what we're looking at in terms of... Get rid of that spam. In terms of what the Premier League's looking at and can we challenge Arsenal. I think it's 7 points at the minute. I'm not really comfortable with it being more than 6. So 7's obviously an extra point more than what I'd like it to be. So we've just got to see if we can reduce that gap. If we can get it to within 4 or 5 points and keep it at 4 or 5 points, then that's not a disaster. I've maintained for a while, and I'm going to continue to maintain this, that if we can turn up and get Arsenal under pressure into the final run-in for the Premier League, and it's within, one bad result for Arsenal and one good result for Man City, then we're in a strong position. And we know at the beginning of April we've got Arsenal at home, so we know that if we can turn up and win that game, then obviously we gain 3 points, they lose 3 points, and we're then in a good position to see if we can get Arsenal under the final bits of pressure and see if we can get them to crack. But it's all just about remaining in these competitions. Good strong position in the League Cup. Got the FA Cup coming up. I think Salford City and Swindon are playing today. So winner of that match will play Man City at home, I would expect, because it's going to be a lower league team. I'd expect Man City to be in the draw for the 5th round. If you can get through the 5th round, you're into the quarterfinals, and that's the business end of the FA Cup then. You're 1 win away from Wembley, you're 2 wins away from the FA Cup final, and you're 3 wins away from lifting the most prestigious domestic cup competition in the world. And you want to be within touching distance in the FA Cup, and you want to be through to the latter stages in the Champions League. So it's still, when you think about it, it's still quite early into the season. To be honest, we don't really get a clearer picture of things until I'd probably say after the March international break. League Cup will be done and dusted. We'll be ready to play the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. We will know what the quarterfinals of the Champions League is looking like, and we'll know what we're dealing with in terms of the Premier League running. So, yeah. Oh, that's a good question, Kushik. Let's have a look at the league table. Champions League table. Because worst case scenario here for City, we will make the playoffs. So, at the minute, the top 8's Arsenal, if it's to end today, Arsenal, Bayern Munich, PSG, Man City. I think you're looking here at 4 of Europe's very best. Atalanta, Inter Milan, Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid as the other 4 sides going through to the last 16. Battling it out at the minute would be Liverpool against Napoli. 9th place Liverpool against 24th place Napoli. Dortmund would take on Club Brugge. Tottenham Hotspur would take on Karabag. Newcastle would take on PSV Eindhoven. Chelsea would be taking on Bayer Leverkusen. Sporting Club de Portugal would be taking on AS Monaco. Barcelona would be taking on Galatasaray. And Marseille would be taking on Juventus. So some tasty ties in there, some real tasty ties. And I always feel like Man City are going to look most exposed and weakest against other English sides. So I would prefer for the likes of Liverpool, Spurs, Newcastle and Chelsea to be playing in that playoff, and I would prefer for one or two of them to head out before we get to the last 16 would be great. Who would I like? I mean, I'd quite like to get some revenge on Bayer Leverkusen. I'd quite like to get some revenge from that 2-2 draw against AS Monaco, because I feel like it was a game we really should have won. Obviously, you're looking at the not-so-well-known sides like Karabag, you'd prefer for them to go through, but it's all about if they're going to get there, and I'll use an NFL term here, teams that are on the bubble of getting into the playoffs of the Champions League: Eintracht Frankfurt, Olympiacos, Athletic Bilbao, USG, Paphos, Benfica, and FC Copenhagen. At the moment, you're looking at the teams that are more than likely going to be heading out: Bodo Glimt, Slavia Prague, Ajax, Villarreal, and Kairat. Another loss for them today against Club Brugge, which is, of course, sent Club Brugge into 23rd place. So here we are. Right. Have we got kickoff? Have I got this on like the wrong channel? I have got it on the wrong channel. I apologise. We've had kickoff and I'm just sat here watching watching the wrong thing. I do apologise. So the players have made their way out of the tunnel and we're ready here and waiting for kickoff. So I'll roll the timer and I'll let you know where we're up to. Who knows what happened in that first minute, because I wasn't paying an ounce of attention. Right, I'll move the timer so we're in time. I just sat there waffling about who we could play in the Champions League. Apologies for that one, guys. Right, I'll make sure the clock syncs up and we're good to go. So Man City, we're attacking from left to right. Bodo Glimt attacking from right to left. Right, clock synced up now. There we go. Good to go. That's funny. I like that. I had it on the wrong channel. Oh, man. Anyway, here's Bodo Glimt. They could be in here, and that's good defending from City. It falls to the edge of the penalty area. A block comes in, and City want the offside flag. The offside flag still hasn't come, and it stayed down, and another chance here for Bodo Glimt, and City need to get back and try and defend this one out. Chance for a cross to come in. They don't put a cross in. Another chance for the cross to come in. Again, they don't put the ball in. And then Man City get all their bodies back, so there we go. Good defending. Good defending. Evening, Andy and Alison. Much appreciated. Tuning in from York today. You have got Tottenham and Arsenal playing later on today. What are the games today? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Kushik says £11.50 a year, and it shows all the games. It's a bargain. Looking at, I mean, just for Sky Sports, you're probably looking at about £35 a month. Here's City just knocking it round on the left-hand side. Work the ball here to Kadir Khusanov. That's a good diagonal pass that comes in here for Manchester City. A chance here for Rayan Cherki. Threads his pass through. And is that Nico O'Reilly can't sort his feet out, and that will be a goal kick for Bodo Glimt. Let's have a look at the Champions League fixtures then. So you've got Villarreal Ajax, Spurs Dortmund, Olympiacos Leverkusen, Sporting CP PSG, Inter Arsenal, Real Madrid, AS Monaco, FC Copenhagen Napoli, and Galatasaray Atletico Madrid. Tomorrow you've got Karabag against Frankfurt, and Marseille against Liverpool, Newcastle against PSV, Slavia Prague against Barcelona, Juventus against Benfica, Chelsea against Paphos, Bayern against USG, and Atalanta against Athletic Bilbao. There you go. Right, here's Man City into the penalty area again. Gets squared across, and again, Bodo Glimt can get bodies behind the ball and get it clear. Geffen says, who's my favourite Premier League team other than City? I don't really have a favourite team. I do always feel like, when you're visiting teams and you go for away days, like I really enjoyed Burnley. And that's a real underrated place. Good people. Everything's dirt cheap around there. Proper old-fashioned stadium with a cricket ground at the back that you can drink in. I like Burnley, so I'd probably would say Burnley for mine. There's a good run being made here by City, and Rayan Cherki has a shot, and it's a good save from the keeper. Ask the question, why not? Bertram, thanks for tuning in, much appreciated. I'm hoping we're going to get a better show as well. Well, we've had a shot and a shot on target, so there we go. Kushik. So good questions. A corner comes in and probably should have been glanced in there. And it's not. Max Elaine it was with the header. It's a free header. He should score. That should be 1-0. Should be 1-0. I think my biggest hypothetical question would be, what if that, was it Raheem Sterling that scored against Spurs in the Champions League? Because I think we go on to win the Champions League that year. Bodo Glimt get it squared across in the penalty area. A good end-to-end game, this. Yeah, I was always along the lines that City used that exit out the Champions League as motivation to wrap up the Premier League that year. I reckon if Man City went through against Spurs, I reckon we would have knocked Ajax out. I mean, Liverpool that they played in the final, I think we would have beaten Liverpool in the final. I don't think we'd have won the Premier League, though. I think we'd have rested against, I can't remember who we played at the weekend after that Spurs game. It weren't Spurs again, was it? But I reckon we'd have dropped points in that game because we'd have rested a lot of players and we'd have dropped points. Oh, City giving the ball away here. City eventually get it clear. This is a very, very open game of football, this. Here's Man City now, coming forward to Rodri. No space for anyone, so he's got to play the ball behind. Oh, I have been to Bradford. Do have nice takeaways there, actually. Again, a place that's knocked by a lot, but I don't mind it. I've been to worse, much worse. Here's Rico Lewis then for Manchester City. What I'm finding really interesting from City, at the minute, they've got Rayan Ait-Nouri starting as a right winger, which I find really interesting. Ball gets squared across, ping-ponging around, and eventually they can get it clear. So, yeah, they've gone with Nico O'Reilly on the left-hand side, and Ait-Nouri's gone more into midfield and playing on the right. That was not what I was expecting from Manchester City by any stretch of the imagination. He's almost playing as... I mean, we're playing here with... It's almost like a back two. And then 3 players in front. Which does become 4 now. A bizarre formation, that, from City. So Rico Lewis is in midfield rather than in defence. Khusanov plays a good header here into Rico Lewis. He steps forward. Gives the ball to Cherki, who's had to drop a bit deeper. He's getting the overlap coming in here from Rayan Ait-Nouri. Here's Ait-Nouri now. So Pep's experimented a bit here. That's interesting. Here's Rico Lewis. Reds a pass in, looking for Tijjani Reijnders. Finds him. Here's Ait-Nouri now. Gives the ball to Cherki. Foden now centralising himself behind Erling Haaland. Here is Rico Lewis. A teeny weeny bit of space here for Haaland. He has to pivot. Turn shot comes in and looking for the top corner there. There weren't a lot of power, so the keeper managed to get a strong hand onto it to keep it out of the net. But the right idea there from Erling Haaland, I think. Seamus, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. Mark, it's that broken leg. I felt like last season was the big breakthrough season for Oscar Bobb. And it never worked out for him, unfortunately. And he's going to go down that route now of another player that's from the City Academy that's going to leave. Sai, welcome. Thanks for tuning in. So, don't forget, leave a thumbs up, guys. Aiming for 100 likes now. 65 likes away from that. Any help towards that would be much appreciated. And do subscribe if you're new around here as well. That'd be much appreciated. Right, here is City attacking down the left-hand side. Centralising it through Khusanov. He'll work the ball to Ait-Nouri for Manchester City. Say my prediction, 2-0 Man City. 2 second half goals, one for Erling Haaland. Do you know, I fancy a substitute to score. Doku. I'll go with. Nearly went with Marmoush, but I'll go Doku. What are your predictions? Right. The game was open. It's just started to be Manchester City dominating now the ball and forcing Bodo to sit deep. Gunderson gets that one clear for Bodo. Here is Rodri for City. Exchanges a couple of passes with Tijjani Reijnders. So I'm going with a 3-1 prediction today for City. I was going to go with 3-1. Changed my mind. My preview, yesterday, my score prediction was 3-1. Changed my mind upon seeing the teams. I was expecting to see Doku on there. Lots of pace, causing problems, but not to be. I think City will end up being too strong, but going 2-0. 2-1 SG saying. Yeah, I could see them maybe scoring. I'm going 2-0 though. Kovacic says devoured his Mackey's meal. Nice, I like it. My go-to meal. As in from McDonald's? If so, probably over a double cheeseburger meal, medium fries. I'm quite boring, so I normally just go with Diet Coke with ice. Would be mine. If I'm feeling a bit more extravagant, I am partial to a chocolate milkshake every now and then. Sometimes treat myself to a McFlurry, but I'm not the biggest fan of them, to be honest. They're not bad. Just not my go-to. I think I prefer McDonald's breakfast, to be honest. Yeah. Long ball played forward from Bodo. City should intercept that and do. There's Donnarumma. Gives the ball to Rodri. He'll work it to the right to Khusanov. My prediction for PSG Sporting Club de Portugal. 3-0 PSG. My prediction for that. Here's Donnarumma. Works the ball to Rodri. Back to Khusanov, and Khusanov can bring City forward. His pass just about makes it to Rico Lewis. And now Man City can come forward through Rayan Cherki. Gives the ball to Rayan Ait-Nouri. He's crashed into. Doesn't go down, though. He decides to stay on his feet. Bit more reluctance to go down on the plastic pitch. Hurts a bit more. Don't think we'll see knee sliding. Here's O'Reilly for Manchester City to Tijjani Reijnders. Tries to thread a little pass in through there to Cherki. Can't connect with it, and that will just fizzle through to the goalkeeper. And Bodo Glimt will look to try and bring us, or I should say, them forward. Keeper's going to send this one long. Header flicked on there by the Bodo Glimt striker, but can't connect with his header to one of his teammates. It'll be intercepted, and Ait-Nouri on the right will bring Man City forward. Bit of a loose pass there from Cherki to Rico Lewis. In the end, Rico Lewis picks it up and will bring Man City forward again once more. Here's Rodri. Gives his pass to Tijjani Reijnders. Here's Cherki to Rico Lewis. Here's Ait-Nouri now. He's got the support of Cherki just behind him, and he'll use him. Cherki will just go back to Abdukodir Khusanov, and City will just work this a bit sideways. Here's Rodri coming forward for Man City. Foden links up O'Reilly. Chance here to get a ball into the box. Gets his ball into the box. Looking for Haaland. Headed clear. Rodri can't win his header, and Bodo Glimt will get that one forward. Another chance here for City to put a ball into the box, which O'Reilly does. Looking for Haaland, and well defended again from Bodo Glimt. And that will go out of play for a corner to Manchester City. Nana, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Right, we're closing in on 50 likes, guys. Any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe as well if you're new around here. Corner here for Manchester City in the 17th minute. Phil Foden it is to take. It's very deep to nobody in particular. Rico Lewis manages to keep that one in. Works the ball to Cherki on the edge of the penalty area. He just dinks a ball in. Looking for Phil Foden, but too much on that. A couple of poor balls into the box there from Manchester City. And I think that's just something that we could improve upon. Our ability to cross and put balls into the box, quality balls into the box. Because, you know, Phil Foden takes a lot of corners for City, and I can't think of many that, you know, have asked a lot of questions and caused lots of problems. And I think that's a great shame. Somebody as good as what Phil Foden is, I feel like he could do so much more with his set pieces, but here we are. Here's the keeper then, for them. Bertrand, I'm glad you're on my wavelength. It drives me insane. You'd think any football player, no matter what their position is, if they hold a professional contract, they would be able to cross the football. Because crossing the football is just as important as being able to pass, shoot, or save. All players should be able to cross the football and put a good ball into the box and ask a question. Whether that be through a diagonal pass, the ability to take a set piece, or the ability to, you know, take penalties and things. You'd expect it. You really would. You see, the Sunday, I don't know if it just comes down to practice. I presume that the Sunday League players will practice a lot through their putting the balls into the box. And as they say, practice makes perfect. These players work on a lot of things. They work on the pressing game. They work on the passing game. They work on the combinations. They work on the knowledge. They should be working on the set pieces. That's touched the arm of one of the Bodo players. City are asking for handball. Rico Lewis seems to be the one with the loudest voice there. Crosses and they should. Should they not? They should be able to take corners, free kicks and penalties. And they should be practiced on a regular basis. And I'm not talking once a week. There is a VAR check here for handball. Not for me. It's by his side. It's here. Like a little T-Rex arm. If it hits his other arm, maybe, but it doesn't. So, corner, not a penalty. VAR said they agree with what I've said. So, corner for Manchester City. Here's a chance then. Put a quality ball in. You can ask a question and make something happen. Lots of physicality in the City penalty area. You got Rodri in there. Haaland's in there. Max Elaine missed a good opportunity before. Corner comes in. It's deep. Headed clear by Bodo Glimt and out for a throw-in. Yeah, the corner, was it Foden that put it in before? That Max Elaine missed that good header? That good opportunity? That was a good ball in. I don't know if it's just a practice thing. I feel like Man City every single day should be practicing the crossing, corner taking, free kick taking, penalty taking. It's like Erling Haaland and his penalty taking technique. A player that's so good at striking the football and putting the ball in the back of the net. You'd probably expect a better penalty taking technique than a hit and hope. An actual technique, the ability for a professional football player from 12 yards out to find the bottom corner, to find the inside of the post. You get a shot that's got enough power on that hits the inside of the post and in, that cannot be saved. It's impossible for a goalkeeper with the frame of the goal to get down low enough if it's got enough power on. And again, we're all getting in there, a player's ability to, to use both feet. The practice with the professional football players, they do it for a job. They do it 7 days a week. They should be able to use both feet competently. Here's Bodo coming forward. Shoulder-to-shoulder challenge. Cross can still come in. The cross can still come in. The header can come in. And Bodo Glimt lead. A quality ball into the box, and there's the opening goal. And it's the Norwegian side through Hoff that scores, and Bodo Glimt lead here in Norway. Not changing the score just yet, because I just want to have a look to see if it's offside. City did ask the question, so let's have a look at this. Poor defending. Was it Elaine stepping forward? Shoulder to shoulder coming together. I think he's onside. I think Ait-Nouri keeps him onside there. And it's headed underneath Donnarumma's legs and into the back of the net. I reckon he's probably about half a yard, maybe a yard onside. So they're much quicker at doing the VAR checks in the Champions League as well, so it won't take forever to get the answer. I think I'm pretty confident in making that 1-0 Bodo Glimt, to be honest. And there's the awakening for Manchester City if ever they've needed it. And I said before about the thing you don't want to do is ensure that you go behind in today's game and you give Bodo Glimt the opportunity to accelerate and get forward. City all over the shop there. Again, just a bit casual. Man City treating it. They're playing this almost. It feels like a friendly. I don't know about you guys watching this, but do you not think it feels like a friendly? It doesn't feel like a competitive Champions League game. It feels like a friendly. Elaine there taking too long to control the ball, and it's a 2-on-2. And there's a big chance here if the ball can come across for 2-0, and it is. Absolute mess here from Manchester City, and we're 2-0 down. City's defence all over the place. Absolutely disgusting defending from City. Disgusting defending. What on earth are they doing? Max Elaine there taking too long. He's dispossessed, and this back two that we're playing is not working. Exposed with a front three, and they've got the extra player there. Horrific defending. And what did I say to you before? I said Bodo Glimt aren't going to be a side that sit on this. And Manchester City now lose today, are in bother about not finishing in the top 8 again. Haaland falls over. A handball given there against Bodo Glimt. Anyway, welcome Taylor, welcome Odin, welcome Andy. Hi Lime, thanks for tuning in. If I've missed anybody off, I apologise. Here's Ait-Nouri then for Manchester City. A crazy 3 minutes there. As City could do with their own crazy 3 minutes in finding a couple of goals. And offside given, I think, against Man City there. Or is it a free kick? I don't know what's going on with Man City. I think it's a hand to the face that the free kick's given for. I don't know what's going on with Man City, but it's like something, I don't know, just not right. I don't know what it is. They do look like amateurs, Julia. Yeah, they do. Andy, man, it's on an artificial pitch. The freezing conditions, they'd never get games on if it was on a grass pitch. It's a poor pullback there from Foden. Can't get the ball back either, and Bodo will get this one clear. I dare suggest here that, this is what happens when you overexpose young players. I don't expect Max Alleyne, City overexpose him. I don't expect Max Alleyne to be at Champions League quality at such a young age with no experience. It's not going to happen. It's the same with Simpson Pusi. I felt so sorry for him in that game against Sporting CP last season. And he's made to look like an amateur. He was made to, he was the scapegoat. He looked out of his depth. Max Alleyne against United and so far today's looked a little out of his depth. That's because City should be protecting his minutes, but they aren't protecting his minutes because they've got no other option. You give Max Alleyne a full season as playing and getting that experience, he'll show his quality. Just going to take a bit of time for that quality to come forward. No, they don't have anybody else, Andy, man. They don't have anybody else because Man City have, for some reason, through December and the beginning of January, took up not rotating anybody. And because they took up not rotating anyone, the players ended up knackered. Carrying knocks, playing through injuries. And now that they're getting rest, everything starts to tighten up and the recovery time becomes longer. It's why it's taking forever for the likes of Savinho, Nico G and everyone to come back from injury. They pick up a knock, there's nothing serious, but that nothing serious goes from missing one game to missing 6 or 7. I'm not sure. Anyway, I think it's just important here for Man City that they try and obviously slow the tempo of this game down a little bit and see if they can get an outlet back into the game. Still a good 20 minutes or so remaining, and it's not going to help with wayward passes. Again, Max Alleyne with a wayward pass. Andy, man, it is chilly in Chicago, very cold. Bears very unlucky at the weekend. Their NFL campaign comes to an end to the LA Rams. Rodri putting some pressure on. Can he win the ball back? Nearly did. Yeah, Man City look beaten up. There's another chance here for Bodo Glimt. They're lining up. Oh, it's not scored. It should have been 3. This game should have been over there. It should have been a hat-trick for Hogh. Andy, man, I managed to watch the 2 earlier games over the weekend. It wouldn't have counted that goal then if it had gone 3. There was an offside in the build-up, so wouldn't have counted. So Bodo on course for potentially their first win of the Champions League campaign here against Man City. Two goals in 2 minutes. Shell-shocked them. Just to get themselves a throw-in. Bodo well up for this one at the minute. Here's a hot knife through butter at the minute, isn't it? Ah, man. They don't have any answers. They don't have any answers. Like, is there any leadership on the pitch to take responsibility, accountability for what's going on? It's good feet from Foden, then a heavy touch. As if to get themselves a throw-in. Here's Rayan Cherki then for Manchester City. Gives the ball to Rodri. And I said before, treating it like a friendly game. It felt like a friendly game. If it felt like a friendly game before, it doesn't feel like a friendly game, I'm sure, to Man City anymore, because it's not fun. This horrific January continues for City. I mean, this performance from City at the minute's been nothing short of a joke, has it? Nothing short of a joke. End of the day, I think this comes down to a quality issue. I think the harsh reality is I look at this starting 11 and I don't think this 11's good enough to beat Bodo Glimt. And that comes down to how good the players are. I just don't think the players are good enough. That'll be a free kick for Manchester City. Free kick here then for Man City. Cherki takes quickly. Here's Ait-Nouri. O'Reilly heads one back across. Shot comes in, blocked, and out for a corner to City. Corner then for Cherki to take. Whipped into the back post and I was going to say surely someone's on the end of that, but Haaland can't get there. You see, I'd like to see Erling Haaland fling himself at that. He's just trying to stab it home with his studs. Whereas I felt like if Haaland had just launched himself at the ball there, he'd have scored. Not sure. City are just in a rut. As I was saying before, leadership on the pitch. That's what I'm looking for. Big time lack of leadership on the pitch. Nobody's taking real responsibility or accountability or motivating the players on the pitch. They concede the heads drop. You need somebody there to tell them, get a grip. Do you want to win this game or not? I also think we're very slow. So slow. Yeah, Seamus. Slow side-to-side football. Just you want to work the ball from from the right-hand side to the left-hand side. Then it doesn't need to be done in 5 or 6 passes. It could be done in 1 or 2. Predictable, boring, and slow. Bibish, yeah. Needs to be more direct. Here's Ait-Nouri. Gives the ball to Rico Lewis. Here's Khusanov. MZ, it has been shocking, hasn't it? There's a ball given away again from City. And they can't get back. Ball gets squared across and it's a wayward hit from Hoff. There's too many defensive mistakes, so they're just allowing Bodo to skip forward and get into good attacking positions. Before the referee blew his whistle then, I was just about to say that, here's Man City now coming forward. We're in a position where they've got 4 back, we've got 3 getting forward. Well, you've got to turn them into a chance and a shot on goal. And we don't. We just don't look... We look vulnerable to concede and don't look like scoring. And whilst that's the case, that's a big problem. I don't even think I'd sit here all that concerned if Man City, were peppering the goal and it's just been a case of bad finishing. You feel like once one goes in, we're going to score 2, 3, 4 and the goals will come. It's not been the case. I'm not confident that Man City are going to score today. And when you're 2-0 down after 24 minutes, that's a big problem. Big problem. It's what Pep gets paid the big money for, to find the solutions, but they don't have any. They'll blame the injuries, they'll blame the schedule, they'll blame this, they'll blame that, but have a look how the English sides performed today, because they've all had to play the same amount of games and go through similar problems with fatigue with the players. I can guarantee there'll be at least a couple of teams that win. So, are you more confident than I am, Evil? I can't see a comeback. Not whilst we're not creating. It's just bad, guys. But anyway, we're at 50 likes. We're aiming for 100. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up and do subscribe, guys. You do have to wonder how long it's going to be before the Chuck Marmouche on and Jeremy Doku. City did well to get a corner there. Tijjani Reijnders did very well to get a corner there. Ball comes in, header comes in. Khusanov, and again, just a poor ball across. City asked for the penalty for a handball, but it doesn't come. Here's Foden. Doesn't have the shot. Plays it a pass across, and we're forced to go backwards. Bless me. Another ball comes in from Cherki. Keeper looks to try and get an end on the end of that and goes out for a corner. Thank you, Kevin. Has been a more intensive 5 minutes. They could do with a goal before half-time. 2-0 is a very dangerous scoreline. Cherki with the corner. I do actually think corner might be the best way for City to score a goal. They could put a good ball into the box. They could make something happen. Look at Elaine's header before. Probably the best opportunity we've had in the game. Another cross in. Not very good. Straight to the keeper. You wouldn't think that Bodo Glimt haven't played for over a month. Looked sharp. As I was expecting them to look fresh, because they are fresh. They've had over a month off. But they look sharp. Takes a while to get back into competitive action. Cherki can't sort his feet out, so he'll be dispossessed. Rodri will pick the pocket and City will help bring the ball back into the final minute. I feel like City need to run more. That's why I'd be putting Marmouche and Doku on, players that are going to run at the defence. I'm not a big fan of this formation that Pep's trying here. The exposed two at the back, the three that sit in front. Not a big fan. Here's a chance for Haaland and misses. Shakes his head. That was a big chance, that, for City. It's game on. You put that in, that's game on. So nothing wrong with the pullback. Haaland's got half a yard. Keeper's beaten. It's off target. That's a big chance, that, for City. A real big chance. Anyway, we're into the first of just one additional minute. Got 40 seconds. Make that 30 seconds now. Maybe we sort our feet out. Chance to create one more opportunity, but looks like it's going to be a throw-in for... That's going to be a throw-in for City. I thought it was a throw-in for them. Final 10 seconds, worthwhile just launching a ball forward, to be honest. It's just sideways, going nowhere. And the referee's going to bring the half to a close. Very poor half of football from Man City. Again. Slow, lethargic, struggling to create. When we have created, we've been wasteful. Elaine missed a good header before Bodo had scored from a corner. Haaland's just missed a good opportunity to score. Other than that, not really found too many ways to test the goalkeeper. Manchester City just shell-shocked from a crazy couple of minutes, and Hogh finding goals on the 22nd and 24th minute. Means Bodo Glimt lead at half-time by 2-0. And Manchester City now in a lot of bother, because I've maintained for a little while 16 points I'm 50-50 on is going to be enough for Man City to make the top 8 of the Champions League. A loss today means if we win next week against Galatasaray at home, that sends us on to 16 points. As far as I'm concerned, that's 50-50 as to whether we make the last 8. I'm 95% sure, maybe even 99% sure that 17 points would be enough, which means we need 4 points from these final 2 games. At the moment, we're on course for nothing because we've just simply been poor. Struggled when Bodo Glimt have wanted to come forward. Bodo could have scored 3 or 4, just like the Manchester derby. Every time United had come forward, there were opportunities to score, and they look dangerous and they look lively, like they're going to score. And ultimately, in terms of City's creativity, just well off it. You know, looking at the statistics, 4 shots, 2 on target. Donnarumma's had nothing to do other than pick the ball out the back of his net. Should have saved the first one. Nothing wrong with the second one as far as I'm concerned. City, look at that. 7 shots, 1 on target. Tested the keeper once. Missed 1 big opportunity. 6 corners and not managed to make anything happen other than one of them corners fall into a lane. So 5 waste of corners out of the 6. Nothing wrong with City's pass accuracy at 96%. Just they look a shadow of the former selves in front of goal, and it's these statistics in front of goal that's causing problems for Man City. The lack of scoring goals is a big problem. Yeah, Erling Haaland's in the team. You can't just turn up and expect, give the ball to Haaland and expect Haaland to score goals. You've got to create. You've got to give opportunities. The balls into the box have been rubbish. There hasn't been any injection of urgency in terms of shots from the edge of the penalty area. Have the shots, test the keeper, ask them questions. Other than Cherki in the first, 5 minutes, where he drove forward on the right-hand side, had a shot with his right foot that the keeper had to make a save low down. Other than that, their keeper's not had to do anything. It's just been a bit careful from City, and since they've gone 1-0 behind, the response just hasn't been good. City are playing in that first half like the game's 0-0. It's not 0-0. We're 2-0 behind. You've got to find that energy. You've got to find that form. You've got to find that clinical edge in front of goal, and you've got to find it soon. We're 2-0 behind here. A shocking Derby Day defeat, and I sat there and I said, I'm hoping that this is a one-off. You're allowed a bad day at the office. What you don't want is for that to become a habit. And that's exactly what City have done in this game. Lessons learned, not a bit of it. Not clinical in front of goal. not asking enough questions of the keeper or the defence. And when it comes to our defending, it's a joke. Absolute joke from Manchester City. So there is much for Pep Guardiola to think about into the second half. And, I'm looking at the teams, got them up here. I'm thinking to myself that where's the difference going to be? I'm looking at the likes of Omar Marmoush. I'm looking at Jeremy Doku. They're the two senior players for Man City on the bench in terms of attacking credential that could make things happen. So I don't waste any time. Half time, Marmoush and Doku come on for me, and we're at a point here, 2-0 down at the point of no return. I start taking midfield players off. I look at midfield. Rico Lewis, ghosting, absent. What's he done in the first half? Nothing. Absolutely zilch. Phil Foden can't find any kind of space in and around the defence of Bodo Glimt. So I feel like Erling Haaland, to help free up some space, needs runners from either side of him. Tijjani Reijnders is happy to do it on the left. I'm not seeing much on the right, so I wouldn't be scared to take Phil Foden off and get Omar Marmoush on, and you play a front two, an attacking two strikers. You want to keep Haaland quiet, try and keep Marmoush quiet at the same time. I take off the extra midfielder and I give a bit more width to this team. It'll allow Cherki to play behind the strikers and allow, plural there, strikers, Marmoush, I want him on. And I allow Cherki to start trying to thread some balls in, and you've got dangers one side and the other from players out wide. I'd be going with Jeremy Doku on one side. On the left, Tijjani Reijnders can play on the right. He could be the other option here for Manchester City. Elsewhere into the team, though, other than Nathan Ake at the back, McArthur's got a bit of first-team experience. There's nothing else that City are relying on. They've got goalkeepers and kids. That's how down to the bare bones we are, but we've still got a good enough squad there for Manchester City to turn up, create opportunities, score goals, and win this football game. It's a terrible 45 minutes. I want to see them changes. I don't waste any time. Doku, Marmoush, they come on for me in this second half. I don't wait to make them changes either. Shocking from Manchester City. I'm just having a read of what the summaries are on Sky Sports. City just frustrated big time. Oh, man. Bad. And City haven't got answers at the minute. So a huge second half coming up. If you're changing things, what are you changing for the second half? Let me know. That'll be much appreciated, because that's just been frustrating from City. Real frustrating. I mean, Donnarumma really should have saved that first goal. It's through his legs. Tedley, see, I feel sorry for Elaine. He's a victim of being overexposed. Honestly, the victim of being overexposed. He's gone from playing in the Championship week on week to playing in the Champions League. There's a big difference between Championship and Champions League. You can sit here all day, every day and say, oh, it's Bodo Glimt. Very disrespectful. This is a side that put 2 past Borussia Dortmund. Team that scored twice past Tottenham Hotspur and took points off them. They're not mugs. And coming to the Arctic Circle in January was always going to be problematic. So poor from Manchester City. Real poor from City. I've already mentioned Rico Lewis. I said he's ghosted the game. He's not had any influence on the game. And I'd take him off and I'd put an extra striker on. do feel sorry for Elaine. He's overexposed. Honestly, I blame Man City's poor forward management. I really do. The lack of rotation through December is what's to blame for what we're seeing in these injury crises, because we're not been rotating and resting players. And because you're not rotating and resting the players through December, we go on a good winning streak, fantastic, but the players are tired, the recovery time is longer, you don't have the options, so you're forced then to go 4-5 consecutive games with playing Max Elaine, who's got zero experience of playing in the City first team squad, to come in and ask him to do a job. And he's done a good job first 2 or 3 games. United found a good way to expose Max Elaine, and Bodo have done the same again here. So Max Elaine's at a point where he needs rotating himself to have a rest for a game or two to allow him to, be nice and refreshed, ready to come back in again. Do the injuries to Ruben Dias and Josko Gvardiol happen against Chelsea? Quite possibly, because I don't think they were impact injuries. But John Stones is made of glass. You've not got him as an option. You've overused Nathan Ake, so he's not fit to do 2-3 games in a week. We've had to dip into the market to bring Marc Guehi in. He can't be registered, so he can't play in the Champions League. And you're left relying on Abdukodir Khusanov, who's he should have been the option that should have been rotated through December. Give you them extra rest. Maybe Nathan Ake would be fitter than what he is right now. Had we found ways to rotate, we haven't found any ways to rotate, so yeah. I think the big problem Man City have got for this game, and it's what I've already mentioned, it just comes down to we're going to struggle to create the opportunities, and the best way to create the opportunity for me today is set pieces. I feel like Man City have looked most likely to make something happen on a set piece, a corner, a cross that comes in, a quality ball into the box, onto the head of Rodri, onto the head of Elaine, onto the head of Haaland, onto the head of Khusanov, onto the head of anybody. Quality ball in, get your head onto it, and see if you can put the ball into the back of the net. You find a way to do that, halves the deficit, it gets you to 2-1, and it forces Bodo Glimt then to start to think twice. You've not got the protection of the second goal anymore. There's one goal in it. You know that the Man City kitchen sink's going to come in, so you're going to be pinned. You're going to struggle to get out. So, yeah. Right, I feel like we all need to just have a bit of a breather ahead of the second half. So, thankfully, I've got some halftime entertainment for you guys to enjoy. Brought to you by my partner channel, Mixid. Go and check him out. Links and details there in the description. Once more, carrying on our dry January theme. This is the remake of the Hard Rock Cafe Berrylicious drink. Delicious. Enjoy.
What's up, guys? I hope you're having an awesome day, and today's cocktail is a mocktail, as I will be doing the recreation of the Berrylicious mocktail. As you can see, I went to Manchester and I just loved it. I want to recreate this mocktail for you, and it will kick off the summer series, which is a nice introduction to the summer drinks and cocktails. The drink is from Hard Rock Cafe in Manchester or Las Vegas or any Hard Rocks in the world. Ingredients, which is 6 strawberries, which I've already cut off the leaves. Just dump them in. Lots of raspberries. We'll use that half. And to give it its colour, a few blackberries, don't want too many. We're just going to do a smooth, natural blend. That's when you blend it, you'll see the seeds. You do not want seeds in the final result of this drink. Now like to add in the orange juice, line it up a bit. I reckon about 100 ml.
Yeah.
4 parts. Or I reckon 3 and a bit ounces. Or 3 ounces, it will go half now. 3 orange and passion fruit. This is our substitute for the raspberry liquor. Or the modern, you can use a raspberry syrup if you got it. But so just a tiny amount. There we go. Let's sip it into a jug, as I'll be doing that off camera, you don't need to watch that at home.
2,000 years later.
I'm going to sip it all. It looks a lot better than without the seeds. Oh, look at that, it's just beautiful to look at. Let's finally garnish it with 1 strawberry and half a wheel of orange. Strawberry. You recreate a very delicious mocktail from a Hard Rock Cafe. How does it taste? Absolutely beautiful. A very delicious mocktail with the raspberry, the strongest flavour. And so that gives it its name, the very delicious. It's absolutely delicious, sweet, full mocktail, and I would highly recommend if you ever go to Hard Rock Cafe.
Very nice, very fruity, and yeah, very nice. Just like the one that we had at Hard Rock Cafe, both in Vegas and Manchester.
A very delicious mocktail recreated from Hard Rock Cafe, and if you're watching Hard Rock Cafe, feel free to sponsor this video. Future videos, as I'll love to recreate more if you wish. Hard Rock Cafe, my email's in the description below if you wish to hit me up, mixit@gmail.com. And I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and have an awesome day, and I will see you for the next video. And also I've got a few vlogs coming up from Las Vegas which you'll want to stay tuned. And don't forget to like and subscribe to Mixit if you love this content, and also future vlogs as well. You can check out my social in the description below, my Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. And also my emails if you wish for sponsorship. Have an awesome day, guys, and I will see you in the next cocktail video. Cheers, guys.
And a big thank you to Mixit for providing today's halftime entertainment. Do go and check him out. Links and details there in the description. So we have had kickoff here for the second half. Manchester City still not found a way to create all that much just yet, although that could be about to change here. A chance to put a cross into the box, which they've opted not to do. I don't think any changes have been made at half-time. Here is Tijjani Reijnders now to Nico O'Reilly. Gives the ball to Tijjani Reijnders. Rico Lewis now. Yeah, surprised City haven't taken their opportunity to make some subs. I'd have definitely had Marmoush and Doku chucked on here for 45 minutes. Change the shape and just ask questions, really, of Bodo Glimt, because we've not asked enough. Not asked enough. Here's O'Reilly. Gives the ball to Tijjani Reijnders, driving into the penalty area. He might have a shot. He does. Asks a question of the keeper. Straight at him. It's better though. It's a shot on target. Again, City just got to keep the press on. The header won there by City, but not the best. I think it was Ait-Nouri. Ball given away there. Cherki gets hold of the ball for City. Needed a second bite at the cherry, but it works. And here's Phil Foden now to Tijjani Reijnders. A more positive 3 minutes this City. City starting the second half, how they were ending it on top and trying to ask some questions. And that's just it. If they can continue for 45 minutes at the intensity, they'll create opportunities and hopefully they can just find a way to... Even like a draw today's not a terrible result. It's not good, but it's not terrible. Got to find a way to score a couple of goals, but this is where the danger is here. 4-on-2 it was then for Bodo Glimt. The ball comes forward here. Still a danger, and the shot comes in, and there's a save there by Donnarumma, and Bodo Glimt not scared to get 4 or 5 bodies forward there, and City can eventually get a free kick and allow City to get that one clear. A good save there by Donnarumma. Another chance there for Bodo Glimt just to have killed this game off. So we're now 27 likes away from 100, so any help towards that would be much appreciated. Andy Allison, I'm not too sure if you're still tuning in or not, but thank you for tuning in, much appreciated. I get we're all frustrated. Rough with a smooth kind of thing. Right, here's City coming forward. Rico Lewis pivots into the penalty area, can't find his pass. Needed a bit more support there. And is that a lane? Good defending. It looked like that should have been a throw-in for City, no? Right, here's Max Lane then for Man City with the support of Nico O'Reilly. City can come forward. Foden back to O'Reilly. Into the 51st minute. Still so slow from City. Rodri's pass, not the best. He did well there, Rodri, to find the pass, but his pass wasn't the best. And here's Bodo Glimt now going to try and come forward. City have got a player down. Bodo Glimt play on. Man City try and win the ball back. I don't know who it was that went down, but the back up. So play will continue. Here's Bodo Glimt then coming forward. So I'd like to have seen Haaland bust a gut then to try and win that ball back. It weren't the best of passes. And here's Bodo Glimt just coming forward. They're wide open here, City. And there's the third. Flag goes up. Every time they come forward, it's like they're going to score a goal or ask a serious question of Manchester City. City defensively are all over the place. Absolutely all over the place. And this is a tight offside call. I actually think the more likely offsides from the finish. VAR will have a look at it because the first one was tight. Second one looked offside. There is a VAR check now. Here you go, offside given. They're a bit quicker at doing the offsides in Europe than they are in the Premier League. So that's City's warning, really. That's just a poor touch. And out of play for a throw into Bodo Glimt in their own half. Here's O'Reilly. Gives the ball to Rodri. A little bit of space here on the left for Foden. There's a lot of space here for Foden. And they're not going to use him. Here's O'Reilly. Here's Tijjani Reijnders. It's a bad pass from Phil. What's wrong with Phil at the minute? He looked well off it, and it's not just this game. Him and Haaland just... I don't know what it is. I really don't. How quick was it getting through the first 10 minutes of the second half? And time's running out for Man City now. Final 35 minutes of the game. They need a goal and fast. Here's Reijnders. Can't find his shot. It's gone out of play. Is that going to be a corner? It is. I weren't so sure that it was a corner. Referee says it is. And this is where City need to start utilising their set pieces. Cherki to take in front of the City away end. Bit of wrestling going on in the penalty area. Header's not won by City, and there's going to be a stoppage there and a free kick given for Bodo Glimt. Got a head injury. Again, just not a very good ball into the box, was it? I don't know why he's holding his head. It was impact on his rib. Unless he's fallen onto his head or something and hurt himself. I don't know. Rodri then. City look to drive forward through Ait-Nouri, O'Reilly, into Tijjani. Reijnders has a shot and into the side netting. Needs to go across the keeper there. Needs to go across the keeper. I've not had enough of Man City. I'll never have enough of Manchester City. They could be the worst team in the country and I wouldn't have enough of Manchester City, but I'm not impressed with how we're playing, and we're an hour into the game. I want to see Marmoush. I want to see Doku on the pitch. I want to see us shaking things up because it's not worked for 60 minutes, and just pushing with what we think's not worked for 60 minutes isn't going to work for 90. And look how many bodies Bodo are getting forward here. Chance, shot, goal, 3-0. Cracker of a goal as well. Game over. Rodri giving the ball away. Amount of bodies that they were getting forward. Doing what City can't do, skipping past their man. Space opens up, having the shot, scoring the goal. It's a great finish. In off the crossbar. It's a cracker of a goal. pick of the bunch. And that is going to be a loss here for Manchester City. And probably means we're going to have to play an extra 2 games in February because of this now as well. Well, there's a goal for City. It's a good hit. 3-1. Rayan Cherki. We're back. Do you know, it was good work from O'Reilly on the press to win the ball back, find his pass, and Cherki doesn't hesitate to put his foot through that. And it's a good finish from Cherki. Oh. Rodri looks well off the pace, doesn't he? But we're going back to what I said before. I said it right at the start of the stream. I don't think Rodri's fit enough to do consecutive 90-minute starts in the space of 3 days. So there's no wonder he looks like he's real slow. Rodri could be off here. Rodri's off here. He's been sent off. Second yellow card for Rodri. It's pulled him back and Rodri's off. Now Man City are down to 10 men just as they were preparing substitutions to come on. You see, I don't think that changes much in this game, to be honest. It is a second yellow card. It's a deliberate pull across. It's stupid from Rodri because his pace can't deal with it because City are just overexposed. I don't think that changes all that much for me because I'd just be taking a defender off and putting an attacker on anyway. Denny, the goal for Rayan Cherki for Manchester City. 2 goals for Hoff and Hauge has scored for Bodo Glimt. Another chance here for Bodo Glimt. And it's on the crossbar this time. City just stood there. Got no answer. Another chance and a block comes in from City in the end. There's no Semenyo, no Guehi because they're not registered. Corner comes in, doesn't beat the first man, headed clear by City. Bodo Glimt are just chucking caution to the wind here. They're looking for another goal just to kill this off. They should get minutes because we've already qualified for the... Oh, it's going to be 4-1 now. There's the game over. Although the offside flag's up again. So, what causes me loads of concern, guys, is Man United should have scored 6 or 7. And Bodo Glimt have had 2 goals disallowed now, hit the crossbar and scored 3 goals. Literally just a repeat of what happened on Saturday. Is offside, easy decision. City lucky there. And they're giving the ball away again. What are they doing? City, a good hit from Cherki. We make it 3-1. You have an opportunity then to have something to build on. And what have they done, the response? Get a player sent off and can't string 2 passes together. Right, Omar Marmoushi's going to come on for Man City now. O'Reilly to Foden. City just can't thread them passes through. No, Doku's not injured. He's just on the bench, not being used. Here's Foden. Coming forward then for City. Here's Rico Lewis then to O'Reilly. Cherki. Back to O'Reilly. Cherki looks for the pinged ball forward. Finds it to Reijnders. Here's Cherki then coming forward. He might fancy another hit here. I forgot Rico Lewis was still on the pitch. Oh. City. Through Foden has a shot and saved by the keeper. Here's Bodo Glimt coming forward now. Here comes the cavalry of 5 or 6 players forward. Not hesitating to get them players forward. They're not settling on just 3-1 and sitting deep. They want to score goals. Where's the press? We're trailing by 2 goals. I know we're down to 10 men, but press and try and force the error. Running around like they can't be bothered. That's my big problem. It's the problem I had in the Manchester derby. It's the vibe that I pick up from the team. Like they can't be bothered, like they don't care. That's a poor corner given away from Bodo Glimt. But this is where Man City need to make it count. A horrific pass back. You would get a corner, score from the corner and punish them for it. Marmoush is going to come on for... Is he coming on for Foden? But I don't understand why Rico Lewis is still on the pitch. That's what I don't understand. Corner taken short to Marmoush, and referee says the corner's not happy for it to be taken, so may as well just be put into the box now. Two players sit on the edge of the penalty area. Header won by City and nodded down, and I guess not punished by City. Bodo send this one long, and there's the offside flag. 8 corners for City today. 8. They could actually do things from set pieces. You might have just found an outlet to score another goal or two. Turn a bad performance into a 3-3. You come out with a point. You know you win next week. You're more than likely in the top 8. But City just... They can't even string passes together. That's much better there from Rico Lewis, actually getting into the pocket and helping to win the ball back. City asked the question of, I want a free kick, but I didn't think it was a free kick, but much better from City to actually put an initial press on. I'd like the high line to push further forward, to be honest. There's a through ball for Bodo Glimt. It doesn't work. City got 18 minutes then to try and find a couple of goals. Down to 10 men. I want you to cast your minds back to 2004. We were 3-0 down that day against Tottenham Hotspur. And we were down to 10 men. And we staged a second half comeback, scored 4 unanswered goals and won that game 4-3. Games like that don't come about very often. But if Man City can find a goal in the next couple of minutes, you just never know. I think we're just getting to this part in the game now where there's a Bodo player down with cramp. And I think Bodo are just feeling the effects of they've not played for over a month competitively, so it's difficult for them to get up to pace with this game. And I'm hoping now that they're going to feel the fatigue of the game, that final 15 minutes the energy's just not there from them. If we can chuck the kitchen sink in them, as I said, we can just score again in the next couple of minutes. We could be in for a very exciting finish to this game, even with City down to 10 men. Here's Bodo coming forward. There must be at least a couple of players offside there. Ait-Nouri does well. I forgot Ait-Nouri were playing. There's a couple of players that have real, coasted this game. I didn't even know they were on the pitch. Here's Bodo coming forward again. There's an overlap coming in. And well defended there by Elaine. So, Bodo have recognised their fatigue here and are going to make a few changes to try and freshen it up. Guehi's not starting because he's not registered. And Foden was subbed off for Marmoush. So Blomberg, Evgen and Hoff coming off. Some changes in midfield and one attacking change. And Auckland, Saltness and Helmer Urson coming on. Why is Doku not being chucked on? Corner here for Bodo. Should be headed clear by City. And is. Here's Haaland. Trying to bring City forward to Marmoush. Now there's a 4-on-3 here for City. Got to make it count. Here's Cherki. Plays one in for Marmoush. Hold your run. Hold your run across the area. City get themselves a corner. Cherki to take. City want to take it short. And they do. Reijnders is going to cross this in. Headed clear. Khusanov puts the Jets on. Try and win the ball back for City and does. Gives the ball to Rico Lewis. Here's Rico Lewis to Max Elaine. Here's Khusanov. Works the ball to the left to Cherki. Here's O'Reilly. City coming forward. They go down. Wants a free kick, wants a penalty, wants something. It's getting nothing. City do well to win the ball back. Referee's going to give a free kick there. Now City will argue to the referee about how they wanted the free kick given up there. Ait-Nouri just probably recognises that if he doesn't pull him back there, and he does get through goal side, that something could happen. Not enough in that on Cherki for me. It was a free kick for Bodo Glimt because Ait-Nouri pulled him back. Oh, correct decision from the referee on both counts. They're frustrating for us, but it was the correct decision. Long ball forward from Bodo Glimt. Good defending there from Nico O'Reilly. And he'll be fouled, and that will be a free kick for Manchester City. City now more of a rush to get on with things. Here's Rico Lewis. Plenty of space out wide for City if they want to utilise it. I didn't think Cherki were foul. I didn't think there was anything in it. I'd have been very disappointed if we'd have conceded a free kick or penalty for the same thing at the other end. Here's Marmouche. Lewis works it to Khusanov. Cross comes into Haaland, gets his flick on and over the top of the crossbar. Did Rodri deserve a card? I thought both of thingies that he did were both yellow card offences, to be honest. $11 minutes then left to play here. Long ball sent forward, headed clear by City, and they'll come forward again. Here's O'Reilly to Cherki. Through ball comes into Tijjani Reijnders, can't control it. He's looking for the free kick, so don't foul him. And he's giving the free kick anyway there, the referee. Not a free kick that for me then. Not a free kick. A slight pull on the arm. There's nothing more in it than that. No, not a free kick that for me. Again, just Bodo trying to slow everything down. They're feeling tired now. Fett's going to come off. And Matar's going to come on. Another long ball sent forward from Bodo. Win this second ball. Still got 5 forward. Is the same story, Julia, just more possession and City not doing much with it. That'll be a throw-in for Manchester City. Andy, man, I don't think a victory will guarantee it, to be honest. I feel like City need a point today to near enough guarantee a top 8 finish. The result today will mean Man City probably won't be in the top 8 going into the final game, which means, obviously, because we're playing Galatasaray, we're needing favours off other teams. The cusp's always 16, 17 points. That's the aim that you're looking for. 16's 50-50. 17 points, I'd probably say, is 95-5. 18 points, 6 wins will get you where you need to be. 6 wins, 2 losses, you'll go through. Missed a bit of Kevin De Bruyne creativity today. A draw today wouldn't be a terrible result. I'm telling you, it wouldn't be a terrible result. They need a goal and they need it fast though, because time's running out. They can't even get hold of the ball. That's Man City, that is. Here's Cherki to O'Reilly. In the tightest of spaces, lots of bodies around him. Does well. Needs something quality into the box. Finds Haaland, chested down. Shot comes in, blocked. Marmoush has struggled to find any space at the minute to have much of an impact. At the minute, City seem preoccupied with sending Marmoush and Cherki out wide, to be honest, which is why I chuck Doku on. Tell Doku, hog the touchline. Everybody else centralised. Clock continues to tick. Just 5 minutes remaining. Here we are getting towards miracle time. Rico Lewis can't thread his pass forward, and City nearly gave the ball away. They do give the ball away now through Max Lane. And it's a 4-on-2 again. How many times have we seen a 4-on-2? It's offside. That'll be a free kick. No, it's not play. He played the advantage for Bodo Glimt and then didn't give them the advantage. Bizarre referee in that. We could have been a bit annoyed if our Bodo Glimt there. They were fouled, and then your next pass threads it through his offside, and you give offside on the advantage. Odd. It is shattering Elaine's confidence. Overutilising him. Said it before about you got to protect the young players. We did it with Simpson Pussy as well. Because I think there's a good player there somewhere. Just overutilised him in competitions where they look out of the depth. Bodo Glimt are struggling to connect here. And this is a game just where City should be all over it. Right, this will get worked to the right. Not the best of balls. And Ait-Nouri's done well to keep that in. City have won the ball back here. Cross comes in. O'Reilly wins the header and he just heads it straight to the keeper. That's a big chance for City, that, from O'Reilly. He just heads it down straight to the keeper. That was a good ball in. City again just not being clinical. Not being clinical. Khusanov. It's a coming together referee set. It's a good referee in that. It says it's just a coming together. Nothing more. Lewis. Got to protect the ball. Is it Elaine? Sorry. Rico Lewis. Got to protect the ball and throwing given. Marc Guehi and Semenyo can't be registered. The registrations for the Champions League closes at the beginning of September, and it doesn't open up again until the league phase has been completed. And that'll be your last chance then to register any players. There's massive gaps in Man City's midfield. There's no midfield. All right, into the final 2 minutes of this game. Here's City then coming forward. Need a goal. They need it realistically from this attack to give them hope going into added time. There'll probably be 3 or 4 minutes added on. As I said, miracle time. Here's City coming forward again into the penalty area. running out of room, and that'll be a goal kick. Tijjani Reijnders couldn't find a way to link it up. A good long ball forward there from their keeper. Doesn't materialise to anything in the end, and City can come forward again. And we're into added time. 4 minutes. Here's Bodo coming forward again. Chance for them to kill it off. It's another save from Donnarumma. City can get a foot on that and can get it clear. Here's Haaland having to drop deep. Here's City coming forward. A 3-on-3 if they can get it right. Not much on for City here. Got loads of players queuing up, but nothing going into the box. Bizarre. It is so narrow, isn't it? And it's just a poor chipped ball forward. No width to Manchester City today. None at all. And with it, that will be the game. More cramp here for one of the Bodo players. Into the last 2 minutes. Can't even dribble past his own man. There we go. That'll be a free kick. Yellow card if ever I've seen one. It is. Is that Rayan Cherki into the book? Final 90 seconds and then we can be out of our misery. Right, Manchester City then. Probably going to be looking at the playoffs for the Champions League. It means an extra 2 games in February. It's consecutive seasons of not making the top 8 of the Champions League, which is not good. I can't believe that, we beat Real Madrid away. This same team beat Real Madrid away last month, which is unbelievable to think. Unbelievable. It does say more about Real Madrid. Now that we can all agree upon. Speaks loud volumes about them. Oh, man. Right. 10 seconds. Oh, we're on 99 likes. He wants to be the 100th like. It's exciting. And there's the game. Full-time whistle goes. And Bodo win the first game in the Champions League this season. And they beat Manchester City. Look well up for that one. Some well-taken goals. Incredibly poor from Manchester City. And yeah. City now. I mean, more than likely, Man City are probably going to be 11th or 12th come the end of this end of this match day. Yeah, they're struggling to make the top 8 now. So, yeah. Right, thanks for watching, guys. I'm pleased to announce that I'm busy on Saturday, so not doing a live watch-along for the Wolves game. Mercifully. Not so merciful that I'll be at the Etihad for the City game against Galatasaray on Wednesday. Hey. So next live watch-along probably the weekend after. Is it Spurs away? Yeah. Anyway, guys, I'll have my reaction up very soon for you guys to enjoy, so I'll see you then. So, much appreciated. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up. Get your thoughts in the comments below. Do subscribe if you're new around here. Social media links in the description on the yellow banner. Yeah. Peace.